Jay's emotional confession on *TLC. Jay and Pamela was more than just a raw and vulnerable moment. It was a turning point that sent shockwaves through the show's narrative. Known for his humor, resilience, and deep connection with his wife, Pamela, Jay has always been a fan favorite. However, in this deeply personal revelation, he peeled back the layers of confidence to expose an internal struggle that many had not anticipated. Sitting across from Pamela, his voice trembled as he admitted, "I don't know if I can keep doing this." The weight of those words hung in the air, leaving both his wife and viewers stunned. The scene unfolded in a quiet yet powerful way. No dramatic music, no sudden outbursts, just pure, unfiltered emotion. Jay, usually composed and quick-witted, struggled to find the right words, pausing multiple times as he fought back tears. He spoke about feeling lost, uncertain about his place in the world, and overwhelmed by the pressures of maintaining a public persona while trying to be present for his family. It was a side of him rarely seen before, one that revealed a man grappling with self-doubt rather than simply navigating the ups and downs of everyday life. This moment marked a significant shift in the show's storytelling, moving beyond lighthearted banter and familial challenges to something much deeper, a confrontation with identity, purpose, and the fear of failing those he loves most. As Jay continued to speak, his emotions became more pronounced, each word carrying the burden of years of suppressed doubt. He admitted that the pressure to be the provider, the protector, and the constant source of strength for his family had begun to feel suffocating. "I'm supposed to have all the answers," he confessed, his voice cracking. "But sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing day to day." His honesty painted a picture of a man who had spent years putting on a brave face, masking his fears behind humor and determination, only to reach a breaking point where silence was no longer sustainable. Pamela sat quietly, her expression shifting between concern and heartbreak, as she listened to her husband lay bare his inner turmoil. She reached for his hand, offering silent support, but even she seemed momentarily at a loss for words. The reality of Jay's uncertainty was not just his burden to bear, it rippled outward, affecting their relationship, their children, and the foundation they had built together. The emotional gravity of the moment was undeniable. It wasn't just about career choices or daily struggles, but about the very essence of who Jay saw himself to be. For viewers, the impact was immediate. Fans who had followed the couple's journey were taken aback by the depth of Jay's vulnerability. Social media buzzed with reactions, with many expressing admiration for his courage, while others resonated with his feelings of being overwhelmed. This moment transformed Jay from a relatable television personality into a symbol of universal human struggle, making his journey all the more compelling. To truly understand the magnitude of Jay's emotional breakdown, one must look at the broader context of his life and the events leading up to this moment. For years, Jay has shouldered immense responsibilities, not just as a husband and father, but also as a public figure whose image is closely tied to perseverance and optimism. Behind the scenes, however, the weight of these expectations had steadily accumulated, creating a pressure cooker of stress and self-doubt. His career, which once felt like a source of fulfillment, had become increasingly demanding, with constant scrutiny and the need to maintain relevance in an ever-changing entertainment landscape. Meanwhile, his personal life was filled with the usual trials of parenthood, financial concerns, and the complexities of maintaining a strong marriage under the spotlight. Over time, these pressures began to chip away at Jay's sense of self. He often masked his anxieties with humor, deflecting difficult conversations with jokes or distractions. But beneath the surface, the cracks were growing wider. There were moments when he would retreat into silence, withdrawing from those closest to him, unable to articulate the storm brewing inside. He questioned whether he was truly living up to his own standards, let alone the expectations placed upon him by others. Each new challenge, whether it was a professional setback, a family conflict, or a moment of public criticism, only deepened his uncertainty, reinforcing the belief that he was somehow falling short. By the time he sat down with Pamela for this raw confession, the emotional toll was undeniable. He could no longer ignore the truth. He was exhausted, unsure of his path, and afraid of what the future held. The culmination of years of hidden struggles finally erupted into the open, marking a pivotal moment not just for Jay, but for everyone witnessing his journey unfold. Pamela's reaction was immediate yet measured. A mixture of empathy and quiet devastation etched across her face. As Jay spoke, she remained still, absorbing every word with a level of understanding that only someone who had walked beside him through life's highs and lows could possess. When he admitted his doubts about the future, she didn't rush to reassure him with empty promises or try to fix the situation with quick solutions. Instead, she simply took his hand, grounding him in a moment that required presence rather than immediate resolution. Her eyes glistened with unshed tears, but she held them back, choosing instead to listen without judgment. When she finally responded, her voice was steady, though laced with emotion. "You've carried so much for so long," she said softly, her words carrying both sorrow and admiration. "And you never let anyone see how heavy it really was." Her tone wasn't accusatory, but rather reflective, acknowledging the years of silent struggle he had endured. She reassured him that he wasn't alone, that whatever uncertainties he faced, they would face them together. Yet, even as she offered comfort, it was clear that her heart ached for him. This wasn't just about Jay's crisis of faith in himself. It was about the realization that he had been suffering in silence for far too long. The emotional intensity of the exchange was palpable, not just between them, but for the audience witnessing it unfold. In that moment, the walls between reality television and genuine human experience crumbled, leaving behind something raw and undeniably real. Jay's emotional breakdown resonated deeply with audiences because it mirrored the internal battles so many people face but rarely admit. His words, about feeling lost, overwhelmed, and uncertain, struck a chord with fans who had wrestled with similar doubts in their own lives. In a world where social media often showcases curated perfection, his raw vulnerability was a rare and refreshing reminder that even the strongest among us grapple with insecurity. Viewers flooded social media with messages of support, sharing their own stories of feeling trapped by expectations, fearing failure, or struggling to maintain a confident facade despite inner turmoil. Some praised Jay for having the courage to speak openly about mental health, a topic still shrouded in stigma for many communities. Others related specifically to the pressures of being a parent, a spouse, or a breadwinner, recognizing the weight Jay carried in trying to fulfill all these roles simultaneously. Beyond individual reactions, the moment also sparked broader discussions about the emotional toll of public life. Many pointed out how celebrities are often expected to exude unwavering confidence, making it difficult for them to express vulnerability without facing criticism or misunderstanding. Jay's admissions serve as a powerful example of authenticity, encouraging others to embrace their imperfections rather than hide them. Whether intentional or not, his confession became more than just a personal reckoning. It became a catalyst for collective reflection, reminding people that they were not alone in their struggles. In the wake of his emotional confession, Jay now stands at a crossroads, facing the daunting task of rebuilding his sense of self, while navigating the expectations of his family, career, and public image. The road ahead will not be easy. Confronting deep-seated doubts and learning to ask for help requires patience, humility, and consistent effort. However, this moment of vulnerability may ultimately serve as a turning point, allowing him to shed the weight of unrealistic expectations and redefine success on his own terms. With Pamela's unwavering support and the encouragement of those who admire his honesty, Jay has the opportunity to grow from this experience, emerging stronger and more self-aware. Moving forward, it will be crucial for Jay to prioritize his mental well-being, seeking balance between his responsibilities and his personal needs. Whether through therapy, open conversations with loved ones, or simply allowing himself moments of stillness, finding healthier coping mechanisms will be essential. His journey serves as a powerful reminder that strength is not found in pretending everything is fine, but in having the courage to acknowledge when it isn't.